Well, good day, everybody. It's 12th of November, 2024. 2024, if you didn't hear that. I turned my head. So, yes, disturbing kind of news, unfortunately. You know, we had a lot of hope, maybe, at least from appearances, that Donald Trump might be a real peace president. You know, and we still have the hopes, but it's some of the signals that are coming out are not very positive. I'd like to say, Well, first maybe I should mention where I'm at. I'm walking on a side street. It's parallel to a street called Partizansky Prospect. It's quite a busy street over that way. And a lot of these buildings, not this one necessarily, 1, 2, 3, maybe that one. Maybe that one's an old Stalinka. This one's definitely older. And you can see there was some nice design on here at one point in time, and it looks like some of it, look at this, it needs to, that balcony there especially probably needs to be redone. Looks like the wood, too old, but it's got some nice design here. Very well built buildings. Looks like, obviously I can see very thick walls. So obviously brick as well. These are Stalinkas, but they're only 2-story buildings. And a lot of the buildings in Minsk, as a lot of you may already know, was completely destroyed. So whenever you find things that have lasted for quite some time, it's really nice. It's really nice. So, and they're very nice and comfortable places inside. Kind of cool in the summer, and of course warm in the wintertime. And this one over here, I don't know, kind of ugly. Obviously it's not a new one. Maybe it was rebuilt during the 70s, but anyway, I want to get into news. A lot of you may not want to see this stuff. No, it's not important, but so let's get into this. On the last video, you know, oddly enough, I think that's when I had lost like 3 subscribers, you know, which is very interesting. It's possibly because I was saying some things that maybe a lot of people are diehard Trump supporters and support Trump no matter what. He's going to be a good guy and everything is great, you know, and I was even saying that I think that Trump is the better choice. But, you know, there's things I didn't like about Trump. And right now, it doesn't look that good because the person, for example, just one person he appointed as the ambassador to the United Nations is very hateful to Iran, I guess. And a lot of people that he's hiring are anti-Iran. And of course, all of them are like pro-Israel. He skipped over, and I was kind of rejoicing, he skipped over Nikki Haley and Mike Pompeo. And, you know, it's like he was at a rally with them, and of course they were supporting him. And then I was thinking, oh man, everybody's worried that they're gonna, well, I don't know, I was worried. And a lot of people maybe didn't say anything, they seemed neutral. But obviously a lot of people that have decency, you know, were worried that he's gonna put these people into some high positions. And he didn't. And it's kind of like, wow, great sigh of relief. If you remember, Mike Pompeo, as a matter of fact, he was in Belarus maybe 2 years ago and trying to convince Lukashenko to, well, not really stab Putin in the back, but to, instead of getting Russian energy, to take USA energy at triple the cost, maybe even more. You know, it's like, oh, wow, that's a good deal, huh? Oh, wow, look at that. I can shaft Russia, who's never done anything bad to me, and instead I can pay far more for United States energy when they're just going to raise the cost of it anyway, much higher than whatever it already was at the time. If you know the United States, you know, very trustworthy to hold agreements and everything else. Look at Germany. I don't know, they're buying it. What was it, Ursula von der Leyen? I might have mentioned that in a video too. She says, yes, we're going to get American gas. It's much cheaper. Liquid natural gas. Say what? 3 times more expensive makes it cheaper? You know? Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Logistics cost. Getting it there. And you know, they don't even have to get LNG. They could just get natural gas piped through. And as everybody knows, still one of the branches of Nord Stream 2 that somebody blew up, not Russia, is still operational. And they just refuse to turn it on. Olaf Scholz. It's like, oh, shh, don't tell anybody. We're just not going to turn it on. It's blown up. Russia did it. Russia cut it. I mean, it's really terrible. I mean, when you hear all these lies, I mean, it's like they can't really hide all the stuff they're doing, but so they just either don't say anything or create a lie or something. Anyway, that's just one thing. But what I mentioned in that other video, that it was already disturbing, and then you start thinking about it a little bit more, is, you know, what is Trump's peace plan? And I was thinking, well, maybe that's not really his peace plan. Maybe the Wall Street Journal just put it out, and some other important people are saying this, that that's not his peace plan. But if you guys remember, and what it's all about is he wants to establish some sort of a no-fire zone, a buffer zone, so to speak, in between Ukraine and Russia. And it's really funny, actually, if you think about it. I know a lot of people, it's actually, I like it better when there's more people walking around, because then nobody pays attention to you. But when you have single people, you know, they're always very interested. You know, see some of these buildings here. Yes, this buffer zone, it will not be manned by U.S. soldiers, and of course not Russian or Ukrainian. It will be manned by essentially NATO soldiers. And if you ask yourself, well, what was one of the major causes of the war? You know, one of them, but there's more than one. You guys already know that. One was that, of course, all those people that are Russian, ethnic Russian people, you know, is the Russian language was made illegal, and you get punished. And then these, you know, and then none of those people had ever, since the early 19th century, I mean, what do you say, the early 1900s, they never wanted to be a part of Ukraine. And it was Vladimir Lenin that gave it to the Ukraine. Ukraine is just a mishmash of pieces that certain leaders of the Soviet Union gave to this region that was called Ukraine. And I think maybe there was a time, one year, I think it was 1918, when Ukraine was actually a country, and for a very short time. And a lot of fantasies, you guys already might know, that I think they said they've been a country for thousands and thousands of years, and that Jesus was Ukrainian. Ukrainians built the pyramids. This is all true. This is not just a bunch of exaggeration and stuff I'm making up. They actually teach their children this. The Ukrainians built the pyramids of Egypt. Jesus was Ukrainian, and the Black Sea itself was dug out by hand by the ancient Ukrainians. And if you look in history, you try to say, well, when has Ukraine ever bordered the Black Sea? And it's like, never. I think it was 1979. I guess Khrushchev gifted the Crimea to Ukraine, and that's maybe the first time that they actually had a port or something like that. I don't know. You know, Odessa is a Russian city, Catherine the Great, all that sort of thing. Maybe that's why they tore down the statue of Catherine the Great. And I think they put, a lot of people say, I don't know if that was that city, but at one city they tore down, no, maybe that was Pushkin. Anyway, they took down, like they did in the United States, tearing down statues of, they even tore down Frederick Douglass, who was an abolitionist. He was a black abolitionist against slavery, and they tore it down to support Black Lives Matter. How does that work? Yeah, you guys, all this stuff is pretty, they just probably didn't know who the guy was. So anyway, but I think in one place they put up like a metal kind of a structure that looks like a big metal penis or something like that. I don't know if that was Pushkin. I think it was maybe a Pushkin statue that they tore down. It's not important anymore. Look at this, some kind of a bar. 357. Let's go over here. Probably, maybe it is open. Look they even have a carpet out here, even if it rains or shines. I wonder. Look at more carpets. Man, 357. That doesn't look like a. You know what that looks like? That looks like a buntline special. It doesn't look like a 357. I'm not even into guns. I don't know anything about guns, but I know that there's a 6-shooter. That's obviously a 6-shooter, and it's got a big long barrel, and it was used maybe by Wyatt Earp in the Old West, and it was called a buntline special, and I think that's what that is. So it's not a 357, but I think I might have even shot a 357 when I was in the military, even though I'm not really a gun person. I'm not against guns, I'm not for them, not really, doesn't matter. But look at that, it's a bar, man. Some of you people like it when I go around here in Belarus and show you these places. That's good, because I can show it to you. It's starting to get cold here, if you haven't noticed. Let's see, what else? Well, what else is in the news? Bitcoin is really shot up. It's incredible. It's like if you have some money in Bitcoin, you've just made a lot of money. Maybe it's a lot of cryptocurrencies, I don't know. And gold was going up, but then when Donald Trump made it into, was selected, gold prices went down. They've gone down quite a bit, and that shows you, hindsight is 20/20. You can look back in retrospect and say, well, why is that? And there's two reasons. Well, not two reasons about one thing, but the reason for gold going down is because it was so high, and a lot of people were investing in gold because maybe they were afraid that Kamala Harris would win the election, and they were putting their money into gold thinking that everything is going to fall apart. So, and then Donald Trump, who's more of a businessman, cares more about the finances of the United States, he won the election. So the gold prices went down, maybe people taking their money out of gold, and it's not that they put it in cryptocurrency, but the reason why cryptocurrency apparently went up is because Elon Musk really supports cryptocurrency, and Donald Trump supports cryptocurrency, and all these people want to make some money. So cryptocurrency has gone up, and maybe it will go down quite a bit. Cryptocurrency, to me it seems like it's a little bit unstable. It goes up a lot and comes down a lot. I don't know. I'm not into something like that. Gold is a lot more stable, even though gold went down quite a bit. But it's still high. It's still much higher, say, than it was 3 or 4 months ago, I would say. So it's not a bad thing, that your money went down in gold. And if a lot of you guys are out there thinking, oh no, I lost my money in gold, I'm going to get out of it, it's not necessarily anything to jump off the wagon. If anything, maybe you should buy more gold right now. And I am sure that if you watch people like Peter Schiff, they would even be telling you that. Oh no, I'm upset some dogs here. Maybe I'll go back the other way. See, somebody picking up leaves here. They get paid for that. I am guessing that's what they're doing. That person there. This is sort of a typical type neighborhood in a lot of places in Minsk. So look at a lot of space out here. Big, huge kind of parking lot. So if you go to certain places, maybe in Europe, they don't really have big spaces like this because real estate is expensive. And even though I'm in the city of Minsk, so technically this one does not look like some kind of a big winter building necessarily. If you think you could tear it down, and put up some kind of an apartment building, that's what they would do in the West. So I'm just saying. So what other news? I don't have any notes or nothing like that. So is my mind going to be slipping me right now? So what else do I have to say? I get up in the morning, I should just mention, and I start looking at news, and it's like, wow, I really want to do videos early in the morning. I can't do that, wake people up and all that, and place is not finished. We have new drapes. It looks beautiful. And I tell you, some of you out there, you want to see. I have this really nice room and some nice things in the apartment, and a lot of you want to see it, are interested, because I got like a chandelier and crystal. I don't know if it's crystal or glass things down there, and some expensive, really nice things in one room, trying to make a room look like it's really classical. And you'll see that at some time anyway. So, but anyway, a lot of you have tuned in to watch the news and maybe see some places in Belarus, show you the areas, and you don't want to hear me talking about a bunch of stuff like that, with the exception of maybe very few of you. So I'll probably end this video. I'm trying to think of other news. Was there something about China? Oh, the only thing is that's also about Donald Trump. And it's the sad news. I don't want to end on a sad note, but I just should have maybe said it as a beginning. But if you look, huge amounts of bombing in the Middle East, Israel bombing like Syria twice. A lot of people dead there. Lots of people dead in Lebanon and Gaza. And there's some big minister now saying they're going to get ready for the annexation of the West Bank since Donald Trump is president. And, that's a very sad thing. And some people, and even some of you subscribers out there, I was more supportive of Donald Trump too. But if this is what's going to happen, if because of Donald Trump being there, a lot of these people, they just want to take over all this territory, and get closer to their goal of Eretz Israel, greater Israel, which is going to be they want it to be a big, huge area. And I think the attitude of a lot of these people, those people is that they have 100 years or whatever, so they're going to just keep it slow and steady, and just keep on taking more. I think it's part of, like, at least southern Lebanon. They want southern Lebanon up to the Litani River. That's at least that. That's part of Eretz Israel. And it reminds you of this one guy. His name was Adolf in Germany in the 1930s and into the mid 1940s. In 1940s, and the real reason for this guy, what he was doing, it was imperialism. He wanted to take over land. He wanted to take over territory, and it was. And this is coming from a great professor that I learned from and history in the university. And what he wanted was Lebensraum for dem deutschen Volk, for the German people. So, I don't know. Do you say the master race, or what was, I've talked about this before. This is very bad ideology stuff, and just like I just mentioned about Ukraine, these people, they think they have a right. They're people of maybe superior bloodlines, and that they have a right to dominate over other people, and either God's chosen people, or can't remember what Obama said, the indispensable people, Americans. So that's an excuse for them to be able to go and plunge, or what is it, sort of purge the world and take it over and things like that. And man, can't get along. I don't know. And my opinions are much different. People, it's like what I like about Belarus. I like Alexander Lukashenko. A lot of people maybe don't like to hear that, and I do like a lot of the people in the opposition. I'd have to even say that for the most part, I like the opposition people here, or maybe the ones anti-government. I like them sometimes more, a lot of time more, maybe I should say always, more than a lot of the people that are supportive of the government. But I'm just talking about the people, and it makes me wonder, well, these people are intelligent, and why do they dislike their government when the government is, in my opinion, it's fantastic. You start comparing it. All you need to do is compare the Belarusian government to other governments and the choices they make, their foreign policy, and how they run the country. And it's like, this place is really great. It really is. And a lot of foreigners have realized that, and that's why people come here. And it's like best kept secret, And I can mostly just say positive things about Lukashenko. I've on this channel, I've said he's a hard ass. And that's an insult. That's insulting words, I guess I should say, not really an insult. And you're not supposed to insult leaders, and maybe there's a law in Belarus so you can't insult the leader either. But the KGB have never come to get me, and in truth, I mean it in a good way. And he just said the other day, Alexander Lukashenko, unbelievably, he said that he's a dictator, and I think he also qualified that he is actually a good one, and he is. He's not. I don't know. Whatever you hear about, if he's a dictator, what other dictators do and other countries have done, stealing a bunch of money, making themselves all rich, and having all kinds of women, their own harems and things like that. Well, there's none of that here, and I think that, one thing you have to do is you look at people. Look at, well, what drives Donald Trump? Donald Trump he's not driven by money. Donald Trump is driven by success. And Lukashenko isn't similar in a lot of ways. He is driven by doing his job. He sees his job as being the leader here, and he wants to do his job the best he can and to make sure that there's stability. So stability is a major goal of his, and that's one reason why he hates war. And in truth, if you look at Lukashenko and whatever they say about him, I don't know, he's anti-war. And he doesn't like anything about war. He's even said that the worst thing for the environment is war. War, has more pollution and disturbs and destroys the environment far more than any other thing, any businesses or anything. And he's absolutely right. And it's like you start to think, you listen to things like Lukashenko, I said, man, this guy, he really knows what's going on. That's just my part. So anyway, like again, I made this video a little bit longer than I really wanted to, and I just wanted to add that about Lukashenko. Like me or dislike me for saying that. I say a lot of things. I'm just saying what I think, you know. And if you want to cancel your subscription, you can go ahead. So I'm just saying it like I see it. And thanks everybody for joining me, and I really appreciate a lot of you that do join me, and you haven't canceled. So I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.